I think the one thing that you said in there that really struck with me was about winning that trophy and how much it meant to the town of Accrington. And I actually have the book Pride and Passion that was made for that season. And just if anybody has a chance to get their hands on a copy of that book and just look through the photos of the parade in the town and the folks with the trophy and all the players, everyone celebrating with the fans. I mean, just take a look through that book and you will know what that trophy meant to Accrington.
Oh, it did, you know, and even now, you know, there's pictures, you go down the back of the Clayton end and down the sides of the main stand, and, you know, I walk there every day and I look and I see the smiles on the kids' faces, you know, Bumble's face, the really old fans, you know, everyone, babies in the cup, dogs in the cup, cats. It meant so much, you know, to the town of it, and to me to be part of that and bring that, you know, to the town.
Yeah, I mean, to win a football league, a football league championship. I mean, don't get me wrong, all the non-league trophies were fantastic. The journey was good, but to actually win a League Two championship, it takes some doing, doesn't it, Jimmy, over a full season? Oh,
when you look at the teams, you know, the teams that were in that in the league that season, it's some achievement. It really is some achievement, and you know, we went toe to toe with Luton. You know, I look back now. We used to laugh at Nathan Jones. He was determined. They were determined not to win that league. Honest to God. So we must have had some decent team, and it must have been some achievement to actually win the league. Not just finish second or get promoted by the playoffs. To actually win it, which, you know, I used to go to the playoffs every single year. They used to take my young son, Elliot, and James and Jordan. We used to go every year. And I used to, honest to God, I used to sit at Wembley every single year, the playoff final. And I'd look at my son, Elliot, and he'd look at me and he'd be going, "When is it our turn, Dad? When's it going to be our turn?" And I went, "Don't worry, lads, we'll have our day. We'll have our day." You know what I mean? I'd love to go up in the playoffs, but you can't guarantee that. But I tell you, winning the league is far, far superior to winning any playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
And I think where we'd come from 2 years previously as well, I mean, that's played a big part in how we felt when we got promoted. I mean, the heartbreak from that 2 years previous, it all built up, didn't it, where emotions came out when we actually got over the line. I still think about that game against Stephen. I can't get my head around it.
The playoff winner doesn't get a major domestic trophy either.
No. They get a trophy though, don't they? They get a trophy, but the runners-up never ever did they? It's something that they've changed. You know, the winners of the league got a trophy, and the playoff players got the playoff winners got a trophy. The runners-up never ever got a trophy, but they've changed it the last few years. I always thought that was a little bit strange. You know what I mean? But you know, going back to that Stevenage, I tried to wipe that out. I don't think I thought about that today until now. Honestly, God, that was possibly one of the worst days of my life. I cried my eyes out. I did, and you know, I'm not ashamed to say it. No, I did. I went round the back of the beer tent. I sat.
We built a big beer tent ready for celebrations.
Yeah. I walked in and it was flat as a flute. Yeah. And I walked out. I looked at Andy Holt and I just started filling up, and I just walked down the back of the tent. I was on my own and I was crying. If I look back again now, we had no chance of going up in them playoffs. It just wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean? We were flat. We were down, and everything went against us again, didn't it? You know, and even the Wimbledon game in the playoffs was crazy, wasn't it?
Even before that, I mean, we talk about the Luton game and thinking we were up that year and just confirming it. I actually believe when we beat Wickham away that we were up when we went down to Wickham. Mark Hughes scored, took hundreds of fans. We won. It just seemed like a formality then, didn't it? To me, anyway. I just thought we were up.
But the thing about it, they stuck with us. We were on an unbelievable run. But Bristol Rovers, they stuck with us, didn't they? They just wouldn't go away. You know what I mean? That day, we thought we were up. And then I think they scored a late winner again and stayed 2 points behind us. And it was one of them, you're doing all the calculations going, well, if we draw, and you're going, yeah, but they're going to beat Dagenham. And, for them to score a 92nd winner, was it? Yeah. Which was, I've analysed, like I'm big, I analyse a lot of games. I'm really big into analysing games and whatever. And when I looked at that goal, their winner against Dagenham and Redbridge, the lad went through. There was only one attacking person in the box, and there was 6 defenders. And it's hit the inside of the post and gone right across the line to the 6-yard box, to the left winger, who was the only player coming in, and he's put it into the empty net. And there was 6 Dagenham players in the box. And I just went, you know what? It wasn't meant to be, was it?
No,
and, it wasn't, and Shane McCartan hit the bar that day and should have scored. Well,
we got there
it wasn't meant to be, but we got there eventually. It was right, Darren.
All right. Well, I think that we've talked about a lot of football today, but we do have some non-football questions. And since you've listened to most of these interviews, I think that you may have an idea of what part of the show is coming. Is that right, Jimmy? You know what we're time for now. So I will cue the sound effect. Since Tony Robinson is not here today, I will ask the main part. And then Darren, of course, has a few questions that he likes to ask. And we'll find out your opinion on a song from The Bodyguard in that part. To begin with, we'll start with an easy one. Beatles or Rolling Stones?
Oh, come on. Beatles.
I said it was an easy one. Okay, so this one might be a little harder, but I still think I have an idea. Red sauce or brown sauce on your bacon buddy?
It's got to be red, hasn't it? It's got to be red. Not like I've got a lot of blue friends, Evertonians, right? And they're that bad. Evertonians are that bad in Liverpool, right? That they won't even have red sauce. They won't eat a red apple. They won't eat tomatoes. Anything red. That's how bad Evertonians are. But I generally like red sauce rather than brown. So mine's a proper answer.
Red sauce. That one might be scored as an upset. Mushy peas or garden peas?
I love mushy peas, but they don't really agree with me at times.
And then Mark Hughes has a question, and that is
I know what this is.
Wine or red wine?
Oh, right. Well, I like me. I've gone on to me red wine now. I like me red wine. Yeah, just with overtaken white. I used to. Pardon?
Cabernet Sauvignon.
A little bit of Merlot I like at the minute, and
Merlot.
Red wine.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, and then I think the one that maybe you were thinking was Sean McConville's question, which is now
yes. AstroTurf all day, absolutely brilliant.
We've been waiting for one, haven't we, Phil?
You know what? It's the best invention evermore. Every day is the same. It doesn't get muddy. Your kit doesn't need washing, putting on boil washers. It's brilliant. You get a true bounce, true roll of the ball. Absolutely brilliant.
Been waiting for one, Phil, haven't you, there, for that one?
Yeah.
You nearly removed that question, didn't you?
Unexpected. Yeah. All right, well, we have another music.
I've got one for you while we're at it, Jimmy. We had Mark Hughes on, and obviously his nickname, Yozza. And they asked, I think Phil and Tony asked him who Yozza was, and he said it was a character from Bread.
No, Boys from the Black Stuff.
It obviously wasn't. Boys from the Black Stuff. So which would be your favourite? Boys from the Black Stuff or Bread?
Well, it was a bit more light-hearted, Bread, wasn't it? Freddie Boswell.
Yeah, it was.
A lot more. Boys from at the time, it was more serious and more lifelike of what life was really like in Liverpool then.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that, Boys from the Black Stuff.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I'll have to see if I can find that on YouTube and stream it over here.
Oh, it's a classic.
While we're on the TV subject, we have Coronation Street, EastEnders, or Irish Spring. If you'd rather not watch either one of them and just have actual soap instead of a soap opera, it goes back to when Tony first said, I'm going to ask about some soaps, and he said Coronation Street or EastEnders. I thought he was talking about actual brands of soap, and I'm like, well, I guess some folks take soap really seriously. And then I looked it up and found out they were TV shows, and that's why I told him I wanted to answer Irish Spring.
Well, yeah, Coronation Street for me. Coronation Street. EastEnders. Oh my God, that is depressing, isn't it? That's a depressing program, that one.
Yeah. We've got enough problems at the moment, haven't we? We're out tuning into that.
I know.
And then what is it? Sunderland Till I Die. Have you seen it yet, or are you planning to see it?
Yeah, I have watched it the last. I think it was a couple of weeks ago now. Yeah, it was very, very good. Enthralling, finding out the way that they run and the money that's involved compared to us. I think they play a different sport to what we do.
Yeah, it really is eye-opening within the same division. And I think it was Brett Ormerod that pointed out that the whole population of Accrington can fit into the stadium lights. I mean,
that's right.
Really, it's just mind-blowing this difference in size of the clubs in the same division.
That's right. Not only can you fit the whole of Accrington inside their ground, you can 15,000 spare seats as well.
Yeah.
That's how big Sunderland are.
Yeah, I noticed that training ground, Jimmy, and obviously well documented. We haven't got our own. They had one. They've got a pool in there, a complex, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. But,
yeah,
you know, they're desperate to get out of this league. If they don't get out of this league this season, if it does get concluded, I think they're in serious financial trouble, aren't they? So,
yeah.
You know, this could be the year. I hope not. This could be the demise of Sunderland. It's a big, big season for them.
Regardless of the situation that's happening right now, that like you said, yeah, I mean, they're just a club where their expenses are so much that, you know, League One, you know, a club like Accrington Stanley's size on, you know, League One, as long as you're getting gate receipts every week and then the revenue that comes with fans coming into the stadium, that'll keep a club Accrington size running, you know, for as long as you need to. But when you have, you know, just the cost of security for a 50,000 seat place versus a 5,000 seat place is, you know, everything costs 10 times as much.
That's right. You know, it's mind blowing, isn't it? You know, and some of the players' salaries and, you know, the directors and the chairman, they're all taking money out of the club, aren't they? You know, and you know, I watched it a couple of weeks ago, and the CEO and the new chairman, the way they come across, it was like a breath of fresh air. But once that pressure started getting to them, and, you know, signing Will Grigg, you know, we'll buy him for $1 million, and then all of a sudden they're paying $3 and $4 million for him. And I went, well, you're putting the club back in jeopardy again, you know, and there's no different to the previous owners. And I think they let themselves down there, you know, chasing the dream and putting the club in jeopardy at the same time. It's something that, you know, Andy also, you know, we haven't spoke about Andy. The admiration I have for him and John has for him is enormous. What he has done for Accrington, honest to God, he deserves a medal for it. He's been brilliant.
Put a foot wrong, really, has he, since he's coming? No,
he's brilliant. Honestly, I can't sing his praises highly enough. He's been, from the day one when he came in, he's been a breath of fresh air. He vowed to put the stadium right and put the club on an even keel. And he has done. He's been true to his word. He's done everything and more that's been asked of him, apart from get us a training ground and get us new changing rooms.
You can get a swimming pool put in now as well, can't you? But no, in all seriousness, I'm sure it'll come on. There's only so much you can do one thing at a time, isn't there?
Yeah, the plans are in, I think, for the new clubhouse and changing rooms and one thing and another. And as I say, we can't do it all at once. Baby steps. It's we have to stay in League One. So when we eventually do come back to playing these 9 games, if we do play them, it's so important that we get 2 or 3 wins as quickly as we can and make sure that we can plan for the next season. Because for us to drop out the league, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But in terms of the club going forward, taking our little baby steps forward, it would be massive. A massive loss if we did lose our League One status. So
that comes down to what Andy said when he came on the show. Is that as long as he's in League One, that guarantees at least 2 years of planning ahead of time. Whereas if you guys are in League Two, it becomes a lot more difficult to give a guy a 2-year contract, for example, because there's not that guarantee that you're going to at least be in the league no matter what next season.
That's right, Phil. That's right. He's a mathematician. He's a very, very astute businessman. He does all his sums and he does it right. And you're spot on there. Getting relegated is a 2-year kick in the teeth. You've got to then drop to League Two, which we know is a very tough league. And then you've got to win it. So it's 2 years to get back even to where you are now. So, what I always say to the players, this running now is like winning League Two again. The 9 games, when we do come back to them, and, the season before we flirted with relegation, I said, this is like winning League Two again to go and play in League One. That's how important
I would even go further than that, and this is something that we've discussed on the podcast over and over again, is any time that Accrington Stanley secures another league another year of League One, that's as good as winning the World Cup. I mean, it really is. Just to think of a club of Accrington's size to be able to be in the top 72 in a country where there's over 700 clubs that enter into the FA Cup, and to be 5 miles away from 2 clubs on either side, and still be able to with a salary that's the agent's cut on one Premier League player, you guys filled an entire roster, and just the guys that. Finding a guy like Colby Bishop in the 6th tier, you bring him in, he's a double-figure scorer in League One, very first year. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it. I mean, there's a rumor that you guys just kind of wait outside of the Everton Academy with a contract for whoever they send out. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not.
No, it's took a lot of hard work. We've watched games. We've been all over the country watching players. We've got, we don't have scouts. We have acquaintances who are up and down the country who recommend players to us. We go and watch them. We watch Sunday League games. I was thinking back when you were asking me about Sunday League in Liverpool. Me and John, when we played in it, and then when we managed in it as well, we'd go and watch games Sundays, all over the place, trying to get players. We got Gary Roberts from Sunday League football. It's died the last 10 years or so. Sunday League has died a lot in Liverpool. But, we have put a lot of work into getting players. It's not just a bit of luck, although sometimes it has been just a little bit of luck. I think someone... I said recently about when we signed Omar Beckles, and John was away on holiday at the time, and I'd done the deal, and he sat down and he looked at me and he said everything's right. And we didn't have a clue who he was. We knew he was playing non-league, and we'd done a few little reports on him and whatever. But his look in his eye and the way that he spoke to me, I just phoned John. I said, listen, we've got to sign this kid. This kid he's got the look in his eye. He's going to be a good player for us. And he was like Matty Pearson. Matty Pearson was the same. So, sometimes it's a hunch. It's a hunch. And it's a hunch that you have to go with because, obviously we haven't got the riches that all the other clubs have got.
It's a lot of standing out in Wednesday night in the rain to watch a seventh-tier game because you got a phone call that some guy said, come check this guy out. And then, you go to 1,000 games like that and you come up with one Colby Bishop or one Dion Charles, and then it makes it all worthwhile.
It does, and that's what we have to do. That's what our job is. We have to unearth these players. We have to give them a chance. And I think that's the main strength that we've got is that we say to them, listen, you sign for us. You're going to play League One football. You're not going to be put on the back burner. You're not a project. You're not, something that's going to develop in 18 months, 2 years' time. You sign for us, 18, 19, 20-year-old young lads who have been released from clubs. You're going to be thrown into League One games, 2 leagues off the top league in the world, on show. If you perform, you do well, who knows where you're going to end up. But, give us your all and see where that takes you.
Now, that's something that you and Sean have been doing for the better part of 20 years now for Accrington. Something that's a little bit more recent is the fact that you guys now have the academy and have guys like Ross Sykes who would come up through the academy, and that's a new avenue of developing players. How much of a difference has that been in a sense that you guys actually get to develop some of your own talent now?
Well, it's another step forward. We've got the under-23s this year, which is a little bit of an experiment. And then we've got to do a lot more work on that side, developing that under-23s. But as far as, where Ross Sykes come through exactly the same pathway as what Bobby Grant did. And my son, James Bell, who played 10 league games for the club when we started 12, 13 years ago. Ross Sykes, we knew he was going to be a talented player. And he was from the age of 16, 17. He was training with us all the time. He wasn't training with the youth team. And, we every week, every day, he'd be marking Billy Key and gaining valuable experience, And, we think we're going to have a complete player on our hands who possibly might earn the club a lot of money. But he's done everything right. He's another fantastic pro. And he's come through the ranks there exactly the same, the youth team that Bobby Grant and, our James and other players that we've had have come through. But it's great. It's great when you see them players come through as well, homegrown players.
It is fantastic because there's just something about, like you said, having a homegrown player and watching them develop. And, like you said, you watch a guy like Ross Sykes at 16 years old, working a guy like Billy Key, and now this year he's at the starting lineup and anchoring the center back position for you. It's just got to be a fantastic thing to watch. Or like you said, a guy like Bobby Grant, who's been with the club multiple times, and it's just fantastic to see all of the developments that are happening in Accrington. And now I know that Darren has quite a list of listener questions for us to.
Yeah, so obviously on the Accrington Stanley Memories page on Facebook and Twitter, we always ask supporters for questions. So we've rolled out some of the big gun supporters here. Some of the heavyweights are asking questions. So I've only got a few. Some are serious and some are a bit light-hearted. So Steve Law, we all know Lowy.
Big Lowy, yeah.
He said, so if you could have one player from the past, from your past teams, you could drop into this season's team, who would it be? Tough question.
Well, it is a tough question. We've had some absolutely magnificent players. Your Gary Roberts, your Ian Craney's, Paul Mullins, Andy Proctor's, all massive players. And then, Shane McCartan went too soon when he was just starting to be a fantastic asset for us. Josh Windass, again, at the top of his game, got taken away from us. And then lastly, the one who I think who could have really pushed us on this season was Caden Jackson. He was absolutely on fire, him and Billy. And we sold him. But I think Caden, the way strikers are really sought after at the minute. I think Caden Jackson would just push it for me because he was taken away when we developed and worked really hard on him at the wrong time for me. I'd love to have seen him in the team this season.
Well, that
it make it even worse. He scored against you too.
It's difficult, isn't it? That leads us on to the next question from Louis. He's also about Caden Jackson, and you've touched on it a little bit with players who you think would have gone for similar kind of money to Caden if they'd have been under contract. So as you mentioned, didn't you, Shane McCartan?
Well, we sold Shea.
We got some money for Shea, didn't we?
Yeah, we got what we wanted for Shea, so we can't really say that. And he was under contract. The two which got absolutely stole off us was obviously Matthew Crooks and Josh Windass. That was really, really hard to take because Josh was there when we got there, and we'd done a lot of work on Josh, and he worked hard with Billy Key as well. And Matthew Crooks, for me, is possibly one of the best players that I've ever seen in an Accrington shirt. So talented, got absolutely everything. Physical strength, height, great shot, scores goals. The only thing with Matthew, he didn't know his position when he first signed for us. We had him on loan, then we signed him permanently. But them two going cross-border and the way that the agents dealt with the club, that was really, really hard to take that. And now it's still a real bitter pill to swallow, them two going. I think we got minimal compensation off FIFA for going cross-border. I think we ended up with about €100,000. I thought both of them would work. If Caden went for over $1 million, them two are certainly worth over $1 million as well.
So next question's Jason Graham. We all know Jason as well. Best promotion out to the four, which is your favourite? Can you split them? I know they're all special.
Yeah, the first one. The first one, what I spoke about, the pressure of it, the run that we were on. I certainly think, I touched on it before, I think we might have been out of a job as well. And the way that it happened and getting that first promotion was absolutely unbelievable. So I'd have to say the Unibond First Division is the best promotion for me. Yeah. Although every promotion is very special, but that one really stood out for me.
Yeah, a couple more, the last couple. Another one from Jason. These are the fun ones. Who winds you up most in the opposition dugout? Have you got somebody who, as soon as you turn up on a Saturday, you think, we're in for it today?
There's only one person, isn't it? Steve Evans. Absolutely. Honest to God. I think one time I go, when I know we're playing him, I go, I'm not going to bite today. I'm not going to bite because he's the biggest wind-up evermore. But he doesn't wind you up. He just wants to fight you. He just wants to fight. He's unbelievable. He's so passionate to get. He would do absolutely anything, say anything for his team to win. And me and John are very passionate as well, and we do clash, and we've clashed all right the way down the lines. When he had Boston, he brought Boston to Accrington when we were non-league, and he's had Crawley, he's had Rotherham, and he's just the biggest. I wouldn't say wind up. He's just so passionate. It's untrue. And every time we played him, we go, I'm not going to bite today. I'm not going to bite. And I end up arguing with him, standing toe to toe every game. It's unbelievable, honest to God.
Yeah, from a pure supporter's point of view, he's like the pantomime villain in there. I think him and perhaps Graham Wesley's another one for me who's he always used to get under my skin. I can handle Graham, though. I can handle Graham. I know where he's coming from and all that. And he is a bit of he was a bit of an oddball and whatever, but he was very passionate, done everything to get his teams where he was. But I could handle Graham. Steve Evans winds me up. I think you've answered that nicely then, yeah. So the last question, another fun one from Paul Baldwin. Can you go through the fancy dress incident at Crewe?
Oh, I knew that one was coming. Oh, well, it was the most bizarre day I've ever come across in my life on a football pitch.
I missed this. I was on holiday.
Oh,
I've seen the pictures.
Well, we got beat 5-1, last game of the season. Yeah. Lovely summer's day or spring day, whatever it was. Got beat 5-1 at Crewe. Oh, another season over. All the fans there, I think we took about 500-600. Everyone, and I mean everyone, was in fancy dress. So final whistle goes. I've marched onto the pitch, started applauding them, walking across the centre of the pitch. Next thing, this steward has come behind me, shouting in my ear, "Get off the pitch! Get off the pitch!" I've given him a mouthful. I've gone, "F off!" I'm applauding the fans, and he went, "No, you're not." And I went, "I am." So next thing, I've heard him. I'm walking to the fans, so about 30 yards away. Next thing I've heard, assistance. And I've gone, "Oh, what's this fella on? What is this fella on here?" So I've turned around. Next thing, he's running at me and he's rugby tackled me, right? And he's trying to get me to the ground, right? So I'm fighting him, going, "What are you doing?" And he's going, "Assistance, there's a fan on the pitch, a fan." And I'm going, "What are you on about?" What? I said, I'm assistant manager. And he's going, "Assistant." So next thing, the steward's running from everywhere and at me, right? So there's about 7 stewards all jumping on me, trying to get me down. And at this point now, I'm going. I felt like Rocky. I'm going to start knocking them out. I'll tell you what, you're not getting me to the floor. You're not getting. So I'm standing there, and they're jumping on me, and they're trying to get me to the floor. So at this point, all the fans have started running on the pitch to help me, all in fancy dress. So we've got Buzz Lightyear, Superman, Little Bo Peep, everyone. So they're all fighting, taking the heels off and hitting the stewards. And I'm going, "Oh my God, you could not write this." You know what I mean?
No,
so honest to God, it was the most surreal. You know, I got saved by Buzz Lightyear and Little Bo Peep. And then it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
I don't think anybody would have thought Rocky was going to come up 3 times forward.
It gives the American audience something to relate to, Phil, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, was that the last of your listener questions, Darren?
It was. I just had one from myself, actually. And I just wanted to ask, of all the players you've worked with, Jimmy, who do you think has improved the most, from walking into the club to leaving? Who just from a pure coaching point of view, have you just thought, this guy's, transformed himself?
I would like to say we've done a lot of work on Matty Crooks. But he always had unbelievable talent. That was always in him. We had to find a position for Matty Crooks. We've had a lot of, I spoke before, we've had an unbelievable amount of young lads who have come in, bettered themselves and gone on to better things. But the one that stands out for me really is, he was captain for a long while for us, and was Andy Proctor. From a 17-year-old snotty kid who came through Great Harwood, never had a clue where he was so determined. From that first day that he signed to the day when he left, he wanted to better himself. He really put everything into being an Accrington player. And we sold him. We sold him to Preston North End for just on £100,000 when the club was in big trouble. We haven't even spoke about that when we went to Rochdale. But he put everything into being a professional footballer and wanted it so badly and give Accrington so much of his life. And I think he would be the one stand out for me. Wasn't particularly talented, wasn't a talented player, but I tell you what, he gave us all when he put an Accrington shirt. He is, and he is still a fantastic friend of mine now. So I'd say he improved but wanted it, really, really wanted it. And a lot of these young lads, should look up to him now and see the kind of things that he's done and where he came from and what he achieved in life as well. He's a very, very special person.
Yeah.
As all the players have, I spoke about them. To single one out, is unfair because there's been so many Peter Cavanaghs and Jay Flannery's, John Doolans, Andy Gowters, brilliant Paul Howards. I'm touched and privileged to have, been part of their life and to know them and still call them friends. So, I've had an unbelievable journey, and I still think we've got a long way to go.
It's amazing, just the folks that we've talked to. It's just amazing that the character of every player that's on the team, and everyone that we speak to, it's just a good person and a hardworking footballer, and it speaks volumes for what you and John do, and picking not just guys that are good at playing football, but guys that are going to be good together in the locker room together, and it just speaks volumes. We said that we thought this might kind of turn into a 2-part episode, and it has, because we're getting close to an hour and a half here, and I don't want to take up too much more of your time. So I have one last question that I want to ask. I don't know, Darren might have another one, but my last question that I have is, what are your hopes for the future of the current squad, and how far do you think the club could go? Do you think the championship is a realistic option? Do you think that just being a solid upper table League One club? I mean, I certainly would be happy with either of those, but what is the ceiling for Accrington Stanley, if you will?
Well, we've got a dream, and we all the fans will dream. When I left, I thought, when we went to Rotterdam, I thought that we'd won the lottery playing in League Two. I didn't think the club could ever, in its wildest dreams, play in League One. But Andy gave us that belief, that foundation, and a little bit more structure to the club, and then we got promoted. So I'd never say never, about going to the Championship. It would be a massive step for the club currently. But the way that we're going, Burton got there. Rotherham are a bigger club than us, but they got there. Luton have got there. Wickham are on the fringes of it now. And if the season ended and went on average points, they will get promoted as third. So that has given me belief that, maybe Accrington in next year, a couple of seasons, if we stay in this league, whatever, we could mount a promotion push. So I'd like to say my dream and all the fans' dream, we don't want to stand still. We want to keep progressing. We want to see, knock round the top half of League One and then, hopefully push for the playoff place. So that's my belief and what I'd like to see and what I want Accrington to achieve. But, it's not just me. It's them fans. Them fans are the main thing. We need them fans coming, and we need them fans to be pushing us and screaming, and every chance and that we get, screaming and sucking that ball into the net for us as well.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Just as far as ambition goes, I've got to be honest. When we got in the conference, I thought we'd hit the ceiling. Yeah. I thought I couldn't believe it. I was so happy just to be in the conference. So you just don't know where it's all going to go as long as you just keep doing what you're doing. A fantastic job, and to both of you and the other as well.
What did we have? 12 years in League Two, and they were great years. And we were saying, but we were progressing all the time. So hopefully we can have that same influence. Hopefully not take as long to get out of League One, and I hope it's going up, not down, because it's a really, really, really tough league. This and money does talk once you start going up the leagues.
Yeah, but it must be reassuring to know that. Well, I can only speak for myself, but the fans are with you either way, aren't they? There's no pressure. Nobody's getting on anybody's back. Everybody realises we're punching above our weight, and we get beat, don't we? It's not through lack of effort or anybody not doing the job. It's just circumstances.
That's it. League One is a really tough league with strikers, top strikers, whether they're coming back down or they're on the way up. They all seem to have really top-notch strikers. So, we can't afford them. We've got to, as you said before, we've got to give your Colby Bishops and Dion Charles's chances, Zanzala's and them, and hope that, we unearth a little gem and get us moving. And financially, if they stay with us, they better us, or if they leave, we get a few pounds into the coffers and we progress that way. But, the fans, as I've just spoke about there, the fans have been absolutely magnificent with us. And me and John have made a lot of mistakes over the years, thousands of mistakes, and possibly you wouldn't have been allowed to make them mistakes at other clubs. But that's what's made us what we are today. I think John is the fourth longest serving manager in the country. But it's because of the club, what it is, and the history that we've got with it, that we're allowed to make them mistakes. And, win, lose, draw, we're all in it together. And it's not through lack of effort or anything by ourselves, the management or the players.
Oh, excellent that, Jimmy. Really, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. It's been a great chat.
My pleasure. We never even got to speak about a few things, did we?
It's been an absolute honor to have you on the show, Jimmy. I mean,
thanks, Phil.
I cannot tell you how much it means to have you on the show, and just everything that you've done with the club, and just to be here talking to you about all of this history with Accrington Stanley and all of the history still yet to come has been an absolute privilege.
No, it's been an unbelievable journey for me. And as I said at the beginning of the show, I'm absolutely privileged. This is something that I've always wanted to do, and something that John's always wanted to do. So we're living our dream, and hopefully we'll keep on dreaming and taking Stanley with us as well.
Yeah, and then I guess we should probably give a mention that John will be coming on the show. We're going to record.
I believe so. Yeah.
On May 4th is when we have John scheduled. So we're going to get everybody that we can here to talk about Accrington Stanley, and we just love anything that we can do to talk about the club, and then to have John Coleman himself coming on here May 4th is going to be an absolute privilege as well, and we're looking forward to that. So the listeners can look forward to.
You best hope that it's still on lockdown and the golf courses aren't open. Otherwise, you won't get him off the golf course. Got no chance of getting John on.
Well,
he can never off that golf course now. He loves his golf now.
I lose too many golf balls, and it gets too expensive, and then the clubs you
sound a bit like me. You sound a bit like me, Phil. I'm exactly the same. I hold the world record for losing 27 balls in one round.
Oh.
We went over to Sligo. We played this championship, of course, when we were managing over there. And when the wind blows there, it blows, Phil. I'll tell you, 27 balls are lost in one round.
Oh, wow.
I don't think I got to complete the course.
100 pounds just in lost golf balls. Now they charge you to pay the course. Yeah. Oh, it's been a lot of fun, Jimmy, and thanks so much. And stay safe and stay healthy. And we will be watching the next time Accrington Stanley is on the pitch.
Brilliant.
Cheers,
Thanks
Jimmy.
for your support.
Thank you.
Brilliant show that you do there. Keep it going, lads. Well done.
Thank you.
Cheers, Jimmy. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers, lads. Ta-da.